I want to bring up someone who was with me all night long. And I wish we were hanging out, doing something social, but last night he stood with me and Senator Murphy and 40 of our colleagues, but he's not new to this. He's been a champion as a senator. He was a champion as one of the top legal officers in our nation, and he fights this fight every day. I want to bring up my friend and my colleague and a hero from last night, Senator Blumenthal.
Thank you. Thank you, Corey. Let me just say, if you got to spend 15 hours on the Senate floor with anyone, I want to do it with Cory Booker and with my great friend and colleague from Connecticut and teammate on this issue, Chris Murphy. And if you have to spend 15 hours straight on the floor of the Senate, there is no better cause to champion than stopping gun violence. The most difficult question I am asked, having spent the better part of 25 years on this issue, is what has changed? And the answer is that Americans have changed in their realization that gun violence can not only be prevented, but it must be prevented. And it is linked not only to hatred and bigotry and random anger and sometimes severe mental illness, but also to terrorism. The simple fact is that people pledging allegiance to violent extremists abroad, whatever label you want to use for them, are now committing acts of terror here, acts of terror and hatred in nightclubs and churches and schools, places that have been assumed to be safe for our whole history. No place is safe in America from acts of hatred and terror. And just as we must stop terrorist extremists abroad from advancing and gaining territory and intimidating people there, we have to stop acts of terror and hatred at home. These stories are worth 1,000 of our words. This picture, disarmed hate, says it all. That's what Americans feel now in a way that is unprecedented in our history. And part of it is what we did on the Senate floor yesterday, giving it a face and a voice in elected officials who are willing to take a stand. When I came to the Senate just almost 6 years ago, the idea of having 40 of our colleagues go to the Senate floor and unequivocally and clearly, emphatically take this kind of stand would have been difficult to expect. It happened yesterday. And it happened without anybody twisting arms or needing to persuade people. They volunteered. There was an outpouring of our colleagues' support. That fact reflects how America has changed. One last point. America wants the Senate to change Washington. Americans want change. They want us to be change makers and change agents. This issue presents an opportunity and an obligation to show America we can change. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to change the dynamic and debate and stand up to the NRA and the opponents of gun violence, people who are too dangerous to board a plane are too dangerous to buy a gun. And to prevent them from buying guns and other dangerous people from having access to firearms, there need to be background checks expanded. It's really that simple. If the Attorney General of the United States, based on facts and evidence, deems someone to be aiding or engaging in terrorist activity, that's the standard in the law that's been proposed, they should be too dangerous to buy a gun. And there is a due process means to verify any claim mistake and to remove that name from the list. And the background check should be seen as a means to enforce those laws and existing laws that keep guns out of the hands of dangerous people. Someone who has been a model for me on all of these laws, including stopping the spread of assault weapons, which should be another priority. These two measures are just a start. We need to stop the spread of assault weapons and better protect survivors of domestic violence and remove the unique immunity shield from legal responsibility that the gun industry enjoys and ban straw purchases and illegal trafficking. All those measures can follow these two. They are a start.